Who is the fastest man in history?
But here comes Usain Bolt. Here he comes, Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt has a step. Titta på den, Usain Bolt!
9.58. The world record's gone.
That's right, it's Justin Gatlin. Because in 2016, a 34-year-old Justin Gatlin would toe the line live on Japanese television. Against no competition, he would be attempting to break Usain Bolt's 100-meter world record with the slight help of 5 industrial-grade wind turbines at his back. These wind turbines were spitting air at 20 meters per second, averaging out to 8.9 meters per second across the entirety of the 100-meter stretch. And first attempt, he'd just miss it. Funnily enough, Bolt had still run faster than this twice, without turbines. What a freak. But Gatlin, being possibly one of the fiercest competitors to ever touch the track, decided to run again. Keep in mind, this is early 2016. It's an Olympic year. This has an extremely high risk of injury, especially at age 34, and he's doing it for absolutely no reason at all, but possible bragging rights to say he's gone faster than Bolt.
Justin Gatlin, 2度目のチャレンジ!
And he smokes the world record by 0.13 of a second. Make fun of him all you like, but he did it. Unfortunately though, that same year at the Rio Olympics, he would end up finishing silver right behind the big man himself, but did legitimately run the fastest time in the world that year. They also gave old man Ben Johnson a go, who managed to clock 11 seconds flat, aged 60.
What's that? 11 seconds?
And in 2019, Japan would again get their hands on another world-class sprinter, a retiring Tyson Gay. Just to set up one of the filthiest 100-meter matchups of all time, a handicap 100-meter race against Japanese athletes for another Japanese game show. But these aren't just normal people or even normal runners, they're some of the fastest in the prefecture. The two male Japanese athletes at the time were 10.5 and 10.9 sprinters, and the girls mid 11 to 12 seconds, and also this random guy, I guess. If you've ever run track, you know these times aren't anything to scoff at, unless you're Tyson Gay, of course. He actually had to work for that one. But what adds layers to this race is that in lane 4 was 16-year-old Hiroki Yanagita. Yanagita, who's now 21, has blossomed into a fantastic sprinter himself. He's run a wind-aided 9.97, a wind-legal 10.02, winning the 2023 Asian Games, and even made the semi-finals at the 2023 World Championships. But have you ever wondered how ex-athlete would match up against the world's fastest man? Yeah, well, of course you have, because about 1 million other people have too. And Japan does not hesitate to put these athletes in their place. Baseball players in Japan have boasted about the speed of their fastest players, with ridiculous hand time claims of running 50 meters in under 6 seconds, even under 5.5 seconds. You know, the world record, which is also faster than Usain Bolt's 50-meter split in his world record run. So in 2021, a Japanese game show set up a matchup between the Nippon Professional Baseball League and 2 of Japan's fastest 100-meter sprinters. And this was just light work for Kiryu and Koike, who put them on their asses. With the only sentiment at the end of the race being, imagine if this was 100 meters. Baseball players aren't slow by any means, but track speed is just different. And interestingly, they did it again 2 years later in 2023, this time with sprinter Shuhei Tada. Tada is famously known for his extremely unorthodox, low down but blazing start that even Justin Gatlin was scared of.
He's still running out. His name is Tadao. This dude have a hell of a start, dog. Hell of a start, hell of a drive phase.
But he did almost butcher it. Trying to start like a baseball player, coming off the wrong foot, he still barely took the win. This is what I mean by baseball players are quick. And the Japanese don't stop there, because in 2022 and 2023, Justin Gatlin, Asafa Powell, and Ben Johnson would appear in a show called Run for the Money as dapped up security guards. Contestants were required to steal an item from a chest. Once triggered, the guard would be notified, released, and have to catch the contestant before they reach the end of a 75-meter hallway. So while being absolutely dripped up, dress shoes and all, Gatlin and Powell did not go easy. Look at these textbook drive phases. The contestants weren't even close. Except for the guy that got Ben Johnson. But to be fair, Johnson at this point is 62, moving like this, in a suit. Can you even be proud of outrunning a 62-year-old in formal attire? You know, I feel Ben Johnson has gotten enough slander in his career. So here's him in 2013 racing Eppu Salminen, a Finnish actor who was 5 years younger than him. Dude was moving like a cheetah at age 51, and I'm not even gonna lie, Salminen was moving pretty dang well himself. But how good was Jesse Owens really? In 1936, right in front of a tweaking Hitler, Owens cemented himself as the star of the Berlin Olympic Games, dominating gold in 4 of the most sought after events, accompanied by 2 world records and an Olympic record, handing Hitler the first of his many defeats to come. This was all achieved on a cinder track. Cinder tracks have been compared to running on loose dirt. So loose, in fact, the runners would dig their own starting blocks at the start of the race. So a 10.2 second 100 meter on essentially what is slightly more organized dirt, how hard is it? Well, in 2016, Andre de Grasse would be the man to try it. A Canadian TV program would recreate an authentic cinder track, vintage spikes from the era, and even unreliable hand timing. Andre ran 11 seconds flat. That's 0.8 of a second away from Owens' best ever run. Who knows how fast Owens could have been in the modern day? All we know is he is a different type of beast. And I mean that last line literally, as after Owens' success in the 1936 Olympic Games, he was now considered a professional athlete and could no longer compete at amateur meets, which was kind of all they had back then. So get this, he took to racing horses to make some extra money. As you'd expect, these exhibition races were pretty odd and rules didn't really exist. It was more for the 1930s old timey-wimey spectacle. Funnily enough, he'd end up winning most of these races, and Owens was quoted as saying, "People say it was degrading for an Olympic champion to run against a horse. But what was I supposed to do? I had 4 gold medals, but you can't eat 4 gold medals." And America's obsession with man against animal wouldn't stop there. In 2009, on an episode of Sports Science, NFL wide receiver Dennis Northcutt would go head to head with the world's fastest 2-legged animal, separated by only a fence, an ostrich named Thelma. And in American glory, he would absolutely roast that bird, hitting a top end speed of 19 miles per hour compared to Thelma's measly 14. But something wasn't quite right. It's almost as if the bird didn't know it was in a race. So they put them in the same cage, and Thelma absolutely whooped Northcutt's ass, jogging to the line in 26 miles per hour.
Well, we're gonna play a little tag. Go! Go!
And this was no tobogo jog. An ostrich's top end speed is actually 45 miles per hour on average. Thelma was on cruise control. But what about 4-legged animals? Introducing Shawn Crawford. Filmed in 2002 in the perfectly named Man vs Beast, the defending Olympic champ took on a giraffe, beating this wobbly fella in 13 seconds.
Giraffe looks like it's having some sort of problem.
Now down to our on-site interviewer, Carl Lewis.
Well, Shawn, your time was 13 seconds. How do you feel about that?
I feel that's kind of slow, but it's good because I'm conserving myself.
Next on the line was a zebra named Zippity. But what's this? A false start. So Crawford demands a rematch against a zebra.
Zippity jumped. I don't know why the starter didn't call it back.
And gets his tail kicked a second time.
Shawn Crawford has a great start, and Shawn Crawford is out in front, but oh, here comes the zebra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lengths ahead at least. Oh, and a little buck there at the end.
10.86 seconds running on dirt against the zebra's 9.95.
So it was good practice for me. All right, good luck. Now, Steve, back to you.
My name's not Steve. And then there's the laundry list of weird things Usain Bolt did for money. First, there's the classic Bolt 40-yard dash. At the 2019 Super Bowl, after having retired for 2 years, Bolt popped a 4.22 40-yard dash in some Pumas and a pair of tracksuit pants. It wasn't timed correctly though. Total Running Productions breaks that one down. He also clearly has beef with Kevin Hart, as he raced him on a beach with a 30-meter head start.
A 30-meter head start.
Makes sense.
We're just gonna run to the finish line. It makes a lot of sense.
I'm the fastest man in the world!
And Kevin might just be right, since at an NBA match, they go at it again, and while Bolt impressively dunks with no effort, he loses another race to Kevin Hart because he didn't know the rules.
Surprisingly, Kevin lays it in and beats Usain Bolt.
This one was actually at the peak of Bolt's career too. Not many people can claim to have beat Bolt at his peak. He also raced astronauts in zero gravity, won that. And in late 2016, we got the purest version of an elite athlete versus the everyday person. Usain Bolt versus James Corden versus the entirety of the Late Late Show staff.
Many of whom had no idea this was going to be happening today.
And it went about as you'd expect.
And Jeff Koch is down. Usain Bolt quickly taking the clear lead. Owen Wilson's in there somewhere.
And although almost completely unrelated, in 2018, barely a year after retiring, Bolt also tried his hand at professional football in my own backyard across the ditch. He played a couple matches for the West Coast Mariners, scoring a few goals, but being dropped after a trial period. And I gotta say, if that is not the biggest fucking mistake, not signing the most legendary athlete in history who was actually scoring goals, so what if he actually wasn't that good? And right as the 2024 Paris Olympic Games was rolling around, a French distance shoe company called Distance set a challenge out to customers. Steal what you want, but if you do, you have to run away from Michael ZZ. Out of 74 shoplifting attempts, he only let 2 get away because they stole while he was chasing someone else. Sick idea in theory, but poor execution in the editing room. And that's basically it. If you liked the video, consider subscribing. There's always more to come. Also, maybe support the channel on Patreon or something. Bye.